what's up, ladies and gentlemen? We back with another reaction. I'm Kellz.
I'm Sophia.
Texas-born Tejano. Let people know we react to today.
Selena, 1997, behind the scenes of Jennifer Lopez.
So we're about to go behind the scenes of the Selena movie from 1997.
Yeah, we react to the movies, so we'll leave it up here so you can click on it if you want to.
Yeah, definitely check out our reactions to the Selena movie.
It was a good movie. And we react to the series.
I take my glasses off because I hate everything.
Alright, y'all, let's get started.
Just when you went to see her, you were just connected to her. She made you fall in love with her.
I wanted to
AB.
That's AB, yo.
And Abraham.
That's Daddy.
1 minute she was laughing.
That's J-Lo.
I really didn't know how much of an inspiration Selena was to a lot
Chris.
of the
Oh,
younger
yeah,
generation.
Chris. He looked just like the guy from...
It was the most emotional experience I've ever had making a film, without question.
If you could look at her little heart and open 2 little doors on her heart, there would be the sunshine
Right, so that's
right
not-
in that heart.
What the names at?
We just know him already. We basically knew most of the names in there.
Yeah. Making us
Yes,
Selena.
Hollywood must be a small community.
Oh, there we go.
because the word spread around that Selena's father was there trying to find somebody to do the movie.
At the time, it was imperative that they make this film.
There was a
that's
tremendous
the guy who
Oh,
played
you
him.
played it, Edward.
amount of gossip and
That's the director.
news and all kinds of hurtful and crazy things that were coming in the press.
8 books that had been written on her
Yeah, that made it look
in
different.
those 15
He was a
months.
little older.
3
When did they do
documentaries
it?
and 2 major motion pictures were already in production.
Except he
And they were
was
doing
very
it all without the permission of the family.
The family was in grief, and yet this was
They
their
did that,
business,
man.
this is how they made a living.
And what we didn't want to happen was
AB looked
to have a
different.
misrepresentation of a great artist like Selena,
'Cause a lot
and
of
a
times,
family
like,
member, and a family,
people that play
and a
him
culture. And so
don't
it
look
kind of
much
forced the
like him.
family.
I'm not even talking about
to
that. I'm
have to
talking
make
like
a hard
from
decision,
the actual
which was
pictures.
making the movie.
Yeah, he looked
Make a
different,
movie
different.
That would immortalize
Oh,
his
he do.
daughter
I said that too
in
when I
a
first saw
true,
him. Yeah.
positive and beautiful way. He wanted to celebrate her life, because the sooner you do that, then the
Aw,
sooner
daddy,
you
little
quiet
girl.
and you put to rest all this negative ugliness.
Mr. Moctezuma Esparza came to my office from California.
I think
What
that's that
we
dude
thought
that do.
we could do
What
that
do you
could
do?
be supportive was to play the role of educating
What would you do?
and
Right?
Yeah, what would you
suggested
do?
them that we would be
Situation.
their partners. Then you're going to have veto
Cause he did
authority
say he Mexican. Yeah, I think it's
Over-
I
him.
think that is him.
Yeah.
the casting of your daughter,
him.
the casting
Oh,
of
he got gray hair.
yourself, the final script, and who the director is.
When I did make the deal with Moctezuma Esparza, a week later, he flies back to Corpus. And who does he bring with him? Gregory Nava.
We talked about what is important in selecting a director, and to be able to
Well, he was a
identify
good
the
director.
personality of the
You
director.
gotta pick the right
in the
person to
movie.
bring it to
I
life.
remember
People still
pulling
talk
him
about
out
it
of the
today.
office and took him to the other room, and I said, I don't want this guy. He's got an ego problem.
He always saying
And
something.
Moctezuma started laughing. He says, Abraham, in Hollywood, everybody has an ego problem. He says, but this is the right guy.
Gregory has a very uplifting and positive quality to his movies.
Everybody got that.
Even
that on
though
their shoulder, that confidence.
Some of them deal with very strong, tragic elements.
So he convinced me.
One of the things we did was we ultimately trusted Abraham's judgment and our relationship.
We overcame what most people thought was a fatal contract by working things out in advance so that the studios knew exactly what we were proposing.
Greg came and spent time with us
What's
with
her
his
name?
little
Suzette.
recorder.
I got to know him personally. I can tell you that I love that man.
He took hours and hours
He
and
kinda
hours
linked it.
of stories that we would tell him of our life and what we would do and how it was.
And I let them give me the gift of what this story was. And certain things came out in doing this that was interesting, you know, and one of them was, of
He
course,
heard
the
some
whole
secrets.
issue about Chris and Selena eloping.
When I read the script, there was a part there that I didn't like, and that was where Selena eloped.
Abraham reads the script and I don't hear anything from him. And so he called me in to go see him, and I go see him. And
I said, I don't want that in the movie. I want it out.
I told him, I said, you know, this is what really happened.
I said, yeah, but I don't want a young, because Selena had a a lot of young kids and teenagers that were
They didn't
fans.
do
And
that
I
part.
don't want them thinking that that's the right thing to do, to elope. I don't want it there.
And I
But
said,
that's
you
what
know,
she
look,
did. You
we
got to
have
put the
to do it
truth in the
this way.
movie.
Yeah.
So for the next couple of days, he kept talking to me.
You may think that it makes you look bad,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's what happened, and so therefore you look even better, you know, when you embrace her later.
That's like my
I
favorite
said,
part.
okay, let's go with it.
Yeah, they got
And
scenes
I
from
asked
the
him, well,
series,
how
so
did
there's
you
gotta be
find out
something.
about
That's
that?
not the series, right?
He says, because we
Yes.
interviewed Chris.
He had no idea this is what had happened, right? He, up till this moment, thought that Chris had talked
About that.
Series.
He says, because we interviewed
I was
Chris.
trying to tell they got scenes in it
He
from
had
the,
no idea.
The series. I look like J-Lo to me, that's why.
Right?
I'm like, damn, she looked that
Up till
good.
this moment, thought that Chris had talked her into it.
But
We knew that the fans
it
would
was on her that
examine
wanted to get
everything
married.
we did very closely from the very beginning.
He got the
You know,
truth.
So during pre-production and production, the casting, all of that, we couldn't keep the press away.
What they wanted to do was stir it up. They wanted to create an event in looking for the Selena.
From day one, I wanted to give somebody a chance to be part of the movie.
And so we decided to make a search of 5 cities. We went to Los Angeles and Chicago, San Antonio, Miami, and I just covered New York quickly to see if there was anybody there. And the turnouts were quite amazing.
We were expecting a few hundred people to show up. I think we had 10,000 people in just Los Angeles.
And the characters that turned out were quite amazing as well.
5,000 in Chicago. And another 7,000 or 8,000 in San Antonio.
So what we're gonna do is,
We ended up screen testing one from Chicago, one from Miami. I found baby Selena in San Antonio, and there were 3 girls here.
And the girl that I wanted was, you had a crew there about maybe 25, 30 people. The guy is over there saying, take number 48. And you could kind of hear a sigh from all the people there. So then Jennifer Lopez's turn came up.
It was quite an elaborate screen test. We had to dance and sing to one of her songs, and then we had to do a few scenes. And
What made
it was
J-Lo show up
intense.
for that, though? She must have been a big fan of her.
Lindt Classic Recipe. Exceptionally smooth milk chocolate by Lindt.
I don't think I ever could imagine a tea party quite like this, but I'm loving it.
Oh, that's when she won the movie.
I am so sick of this. I've had enough of this junk. I cannot take it anymore. I'm sick and tired of it. I've made up my mind.
You gotta be in El Paso in 12 hours. You should be in a bus.
I don't care about El Paso,
You gonna be
okay? You
crazy.
mean more to me than any gig in El Paso, okay?
And in 3 takes, she had it.
So we looked at the, at the tapes, and Jennifer's was the strongest without any doubt.
After we announced that Jennifer Lopez had been selected to portray Selena, boy, I started getting calls.
The minute I got the part, I had to do this big press conference, which I had never had to do for any part I had ever gotten.
The Mexican press was going to be difficult. We
The
knew
big
this.
move she
How
did.
dare you pick a Puerto Rican to play our beloved?
That's crazy, man.
And it kind of freaked me out.
There was
I
tons
got
of
scared.
I'm surprised he didn't say
that. I
that.
wasn't
He
strict,
loved
but
it, right?
I just
He
knew it
said
was
that she
gonna be
did
about
good.
proving
He is
that
about the
I was
acting, not
right
the
person
person.
to do it.
When Jennifer went to the press conference in Mexico, and the one up here, she won them over exactly like Selena did.
After she got the part and all that, she came down and spent a couple of days with me.
The dynamic of who she was so shaped by her family and the fact that they were very close. They shared so many intimate things with me, albums and videotapes that they hadn't given to anybody, and her makeup box and how she smelled, everything.
How she
Like,
smelled,
she
yeah.
was a lot like my sister.
There was something about my spirit and her spirit that were similar.
I had a sectional, and Selena would always come in and prop her feet up a certain way, and I had to throw a little blanket, and she would cover herself. I freaked out because Jennifer did the same thing. There's some
Tell them.
similarities that are
Who that? Oh, that's Pete.
really
What's up, Pete?
Damn.
incredible. The way they laugh.
The talk, her body language.
not only
He
did
actually played
Jennifer
Sophia in the
get an
movie.
opportunity
Yeah,
to
her.
play her role in the movie, but she also
Pete, another
played
boy.
a role in life. She became a superstar, a super artist, and you know, that's where Selena was going.
I did get to have a couple, maybe two, I think it was about 4 dinners at my house. Jennifer came over, and Jacob, and Edward, and everybody got to hang out. It was actually
At least they came over to get to know the family.
Yeah.
experience, and it was really, really weird, you know, at the same time. To have somebody,
Because
an
she learned
actor
the
live with
personality
you,
of everybody.
and then they're watching how you eat and how
She
you
learned the
talk.
personalities of everybody.
Now, you know, I certainly
That's
knew
good
that
for
Eddie
all the
would
actors,
put on
too,
the
to
40,
learn.
50 pounds needed.
I literally, they ate about 5 to 6 times every day. They'd be here and they'd be like, we'll be back, we're gonna go eat. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Y'all gonna go eat again?
And they would go out and spend all day together. And Abraham's talking and showing Eddie off to his friends in Corpus and all this stuff. And Eddie all this time is studying, you know, Abraham, the way he moves, the way he talks, all
did a
the
good
things
job.
that
Yeah,
he
he
does.
did.
And the easiest part was physical. That's the easiest. But what's hard is the complexity of an individual inside.
He was exactly what he was. You know, he was the father figure on the set to all of us. He had advice when we needed it, put us all in shape when we needed it, and at the same time was a loving figure.
I always crack up every time I see him in one of the shots where he has his little tidy whities on.
Oh yeah, that part's funny.
I think, because that's actually how my dad looks when he gets up.
Gringos.
You got that part down for
Yeah, it was important for people to see how the family was. It even scared me when Edward James Olmos goes,
"That's it! You're fired! Do you hear me? You can ride back to Corpus Christi, but after that,
I was
you're
like, oh,
fired."
that's Dad. He did a really, really good job of Dad.
Well, Abraham's a real strong person, you know, a real strong character.
I agree.
Edward
Yeah.
nailed that.
Huh?
Because
Yeah,
I knew
much.
Abraham so well, and I had seen certain things. When I did them, people thought that I was really like, oops, that was a mistake, you know.
You know, one of the things I love about Eddie is that he really understands the importance of spontaneity.
You know, getting off the bus and tripping was one of the moments where people would just like stop and say, oh my God, he slipped.
And then he would fall, and of course you'd get a spontaneous result from either the kids or the people who were around him at the time. And of course it's golden.
Let me show you real quick.
No, Dad,
Let me show you real quick. Dad, this is so good.
Jackie Guerra, who played me, like she would, you know, fix her cap a certain way, and I'd be like, I do that, and then everybody would tell me, yeah, you do that a lot.
I knew a lot about Suzette as a fan, you
Oh,
know?
she was in that
and I
other
knew
movie.
a lot about like the
So
way
that's
she
when I played
carried
her.
herself, and she's very bubbly and boisterous at times, but there's also a part of her that's very comfortable being behind the scenes.
Believe it or not, I
Yeah,
had
you
to
tell.
do a screen test to act like myself.
That's
So I did
crazy.
the screen
That's
test, and I
funny.
figured I don't have that many lines in the movie, and a lot of the stuff that we did in the movie, like the bus scenes and stuff like that, it was pretty much improvised. They're like, hey, do whatever you guys used to do, type of thing.
Chris and I, we stayed together pretty much throughout the whole time of filming. I would
Daddy
spend
got his
time in
hand
the
up, eh?
house that him and Selena lived in.
That's what we
I
Chris.
remember
Yes,
using the
yeah.
bathroom, and I remember looking at the
They have to make sure you know how to act. But
Yeah.
Come on, you ain't got that many lines. Let him play himself.
Exactly.
Let him get his cake. And especially he kind of know how she was, so certain scenes he'll know.
You probably know,
bottom of
yeah.
the mirror in their house, and there were these little red tags. You know those tags that you have in the supermarket that they put the prices on.
She
Yeah, price
peeled them
tags.
off and she put Selena and Chris, and then she put I love you, and it was right there on the sink.
It just hit me right then and there why I was there. And the reason why I was there was because she wasn't there. So for me, it was no longer about shooting a movie and making a movie. It was about showing the true love that they had together and doing the best that I could to
Remember that scene I
represent
said I
that
couldn't
love.
wait to kiss?
They was really
Yeah,
into
it's
that.
That scene right there. Kissing
It's an
scene was no
emotional roller
joke.
coaster.
She got style. Like you said, she's ahead of her
Spent a
time
lot
with
of time with
fashion.
her because
She made the
we
bra
did a lot
thing.
of dancing together. But she would ask me, well, what'd y'all do this? Or how'd y'all do that? Or whatever. You know, she would ask me a lot. And we spent a lot of time in the studio.
I was working on another movie at the time, so I would come and rehearse at night from like 7 to midnight.
I don't think I've ever seen an actor work so hard on achieving a part as
she's
Jennifer did
hard
doing that part.
I knew that a very big part
She knew
of
she had to
what
get this
she
part
was,
right.
what the fans wanted
Yeah,
to
'cause he
see
would've
and
been
what
mad.
they were
Yeah.
expecting was who
They
she
was really
was
mad
as a
she wasn't
performer, a
Mexican.
singer, a dancer. And we had all these things all mapped out.
How does that person move their hands? How does that person sit? How do they blink? How do they mouth words? How do they lip sync? What kind of choreography is it?
We broke everything down step, by hand gesture, by movement. By if you match us together,
Yeah, it was like
in certain
similar.
tapes, we're doing the exact same thing.
I tried to make Jennifer improvise a little bit within a loose structure so it looked first time feel. If accidents happen, so much the better. It looks like live concert work. The only real number I think that we did in the purple outfit that we choreographed off the videotape almost step by step to really give her a safety valve, because that was shot in front of 37,000 people.
She did good.
How important was her wardrobe? It was so important that she had 4 big suitcases that she made poor Chris carry on the bus from underneath all the way on top.
When she did the scene of the opening of the Selena store, she had a jacket on, and it's black, and it's got like gold embroidery, and it's got lions on it. And I go, hey, you wear the same size as Selena? Because I thought it was Selena's jacket. And she goes, no, they replicated it. I'm like, no way. I mean, it was down to the teeth.
One of her brassieres, one of the cups has all the rhinestones, and one doesn't have all of them. It's kind of like broken off. And people think, oh, cool, she made it like that. No, she ran out of rhinestones. She ran out of rhinestones. She was really mad that day. She was like, I ran out of rhinestones. I don't have any more. But she put it on and made it look cool anyway, man.
Yeah, look nice.
For Best Mexican American Album are...
I'll never forget when she came out of the trailer when she was wearing the Grammy dress. Literally took me back. I wanted to cry. I thought it was Selena.
When we did.
So they mostly was on set the whole time that we were doing the movie.
And Jennifer came out and she was wearing. It was the same dress. We managed to have it remain.
That's nice.
Exactly how it was. I think
You
when
gotta be real
they
good to do
saw
that.
her, the same hairstyle, the same dress, it must have been really very hard for them.
There's this one scene that I remember being at the premiere of the movie and seeing it, and it was almost like I got transported back to that day, and I'm watching it like if I'm in the room when it was really happening. And then there's a knock on the door. And I thought, damn it, it's the maids. What are they doing waking me up at this time? I have to do not disturb sign, right? I look at the people and it's her standing there.
What are you doing?
I've had it, Chris. I've had it. I can't take it anymore. That's it. I've made up my mind.
12
That's the part she was going for.
She's talking
I know, right?
We have to get married, or she wanted to get married, and I'm saying, but I don't want to do it this way. I don't think we should do it this way. You deserve to be married, you know, in the right way.
What's the right way?
You know, with you wearing a beautiful white dress and your friends in those different colored dresses.
And I said, that's
Right.
the way it should be. And she said, it's never going to happen that way. And that was like just a ton of bricks fell on me because I knew she was
For
right.
Chris. Yeah.
The only way he will know that I am not going to give you up is if we go out and get married right now.
Yeah, 'cause he lost the love of his life.
They don't have to accept us.
That's a shame.
I thought maybe everything, all the turmoil that was going on with her family and I thought maybe optimistically that it would all blow over. You know?
Yeah.
And when she told me that, I knew she was right.
What if he doesn't?
Someone he fought so hard for.
You'll have me.
You got the same earrings.
There's no king in the world more important than that.
I love you.
And They did such a good job.
For real, they was in love.
Let's get married.
That it's about the only part of the movie that I can stand to sit through without it being too painful.
Feels great. I like it.
The scene that you see in the movie is exactly, almost verbatim, what Chris told me in that interview. I just took his dialogue that he said, she said this.
It's nice that he got everybody's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just
even though they didn't
pulled
want him in the
some
movie.
That's how you make a great film. You gotta get a better understanding.
Chris never visited the set except one time.
I think that was a setup. Because he's like, dude, can you come to the set?
There was one time where I had to convince him to come down, and they were going to shoot a close-up of my hands doing this amazing riff on the guitar.
Man, you need to come out here. You need to come check it out. You know, come see how we're doing it. I'm like, I don't really want to go, dude, you know.
Too much for
And
him.
now I had been researching and studying.
then, like,
Chris and I,
doing
Chris
the
would
same
stand in front of me and
scenes.
I'd stand in front of him and I would mimic him and try to do the best I could. But you cannot learn to play the guitar the way he plays in 3 months, 4 months. You
There.
can't.
It's like, come on, come check it out.
Oh, they
All
set
right,
him
I'll
up to
be
go
there.
down.
You're like,
Waiting
get him
and
over
waiting
here.
and waiting, and we're getting ready to shoot. He's not there.
I showed up, you know, right away he's trying to fake this scene. It smelled funny to me. It smelled like a setup. I was like, okay. And then sure enough, here comes Greg, director. Gregory's like, well, why don't you just do it? Do what? You know, it's a part where you come in and you audition and you're gonna play for whatever. I'm like, are you serious?
We put the, the wardrobe on his hands.
And we're like, okay, they're ready. So they're just shooting like from here, you know, to the end of the guitar, to where my hands are.
And he just did this incredible, incredible riff on the guitar.
And I did that.
He had to do that part. The way they edited it was good, right?
Did a good job.
That was a one-take thing. It's off the top of my head. I was nervous as hell, but what are you gonna do? There's a bunch of people standing around you like, hey, what do you got?
Now everybody comes up to me and they're like, wow, you're an amazing guitarist, man. I can't believe you play like that. That wasn't me, that was the real Chris.
A lot of the people I said a lot of time.
Yeah.
So when you, to relive them again, it was really hard and emotional.
I remember Edward James Olmos coming up to me and saying, you know everything, you know, and you gotta just throw it all away now. Just throw it away and just perform. And I was like, okay.
Every musical number, I wanted to be integrated into the drama and to reflect what the characters were going through emotionally and what Selena was going through emotionally at that particular time. And I decided that the culmination
beginning was so nice.
of her
Yeah, I love it. I love that
Yeah,
beginning.
the way it
journey
came on.
as a musical
saw
artist
her
was this
fan.
tremendous concert that she did just before she was killed at the Houston Astrodome, in which it was absolutely packed. And she got to sing, you know, disco, Donna Summer, which at the beginning of the movie she says when she's a little kid, I like Donna Summer, you know.
Mm-hmm. And you said it seemed like
And I
real
thought
fans
that
that came
this
out to
would be the
support
way
it.
to
Yeah,
open the
right.
film so that we can see Selena at her height and then show how she got there. And we put it out in the newspapers that we were going to do this on the Alamo Dome, asking people to come.
Okay.
And we didn't know if anybody was going to show up. I mean, you just don't know.
And it's free.
35,000 people.
Damn.
Who'd come to see Selena, and they did.
Fake or real.
Yo, imagine what J-Lo was going through at that scene. Like,
Right?
they come to see Selena and you gotta betray her.
You can't mess
You can't mess
up.
up. I know that's a lot of pressure on
The
her.
emotion was so thick you could cut it.
Scream.
I wish I would have known.
It was
Yeah.
the first time I was
I
gonna
probably was still a
perform in
baby.
front of
So you gotta be Mexican.
One
I
of
could
the
be
most
red in the back.
extraordinary emotional moments of my career.
And then again, I probably was even old enough.
Yeah.
anticipation. I didn't know how they were gonna receive me.
Just the feeling, you know, when the music came on,
I
and
know
we're
she was
all in
nervous.
character. We forgot that we were actors playing these people.
When she came out in that carriage and she got onto that stage and the music was playing and the lights were moving
So
around
that's when it plays
the
Suzette.
audience
Yeah.
and the fans were cheering.
I seen her in another movie.
It was so incredible.
I was in an archway with Selena's mother and sister as that dome turned around, and from that distance, Jennifer in the purple outfit.
They got like everything right from the stage and the outfit.
They did their research. The producer, director, they did their homework.
Yeah.
And the writers.
I remember
Yeah.
looking over at Abraham and Suzette at the side of the stage and just seeing them crying. And it was just this, you just got this sense that,
They wish that she was
you know,
there.
it was Abraham and Suzette standing there, and there was Marcella in the background, but Selena was everywhere.
And it was just overwhelming. The whole experience was overwhelming. And I was in tears, and the family was in tears. The audience was in tears.
Right? Even the
I
audience.
remember many people coming up to me that night and just crying and, you know, you look so much like her. Oh my God, I get goose pimples, and they start sobbing and they want to hug you. And then I'd have to go and do another take. You know what I mean? And so
After that.
it was a lot.
I thought my job was hard.
It's beautiful, though.
You know, playing Chris, but I had the luxury of actually being able to sit with Chris and hang out with Chris.
I mean, I was on stage with her. I knew exactly on what part of the song how she was going
That's
to
nice that Chris still
how
allowed
she
that
was
to
going to
happen.
turn, how she was going to smile, how closed her eyes would get when she would smile. I mean, Jennifer just studied it and nailed it. I mean, she nailed it down to the T.
She has that same drive that Selena had, and in a way, it's like they came together.
I started believing that Jennifer was Selena. I was like, in the movie. Then Selena comes out, and then you realize, okay, that's your sister, you know? Because it kind of plays tricks on your mind.
I think it's Jennifer Lopez's finest moment in film ever.
This one moment in the
Did a good
Alamo
job.
was the moment in which the magic and the reality merged together for everybody.
And she could lip sing it. She could lip sing.
Remember, I thought she really was singing it.
Yeah.
But they said she
But she did so well, like you can tell.
After I saw the movie, it was a strange feeling.
But we should
It
have
was
known.
emotional.
It was going to sound too exactly like
It's just hard to describe in words.
It's hard for me to watch the movie.
Maybe just
as it
say,
is,
like, in the series, she
but
lip synced
to
it.
watch the ending, it just kind of ruins it for me.
My main thing was the
The
fact
ending,
that
right?
I would look at it and I'd want to cry because I knew that she wasn't here.
Just talking about it, I mean, it kind of gives you a knot in your throat. You know what I'm saying? And
Everybody felt a real need.
Aha! Looks like you're in the dancing to the beat of my own drum stage, baby. We're Huggies. We got just what you need. And we'll keep you comfy through all your moves. That's it, kid. Dance like nobody's watching. Huggies, we got you, baby.
To do it right, you know, and I think that's why the movie is a special movie.
What the hell is that? They did it.
I don't know, it's from mute.
Yeah, it just went mute.
Movie is
I guess they
how
did
to
it.
deal with her death.
We all experienced everything
They funny.
up until that last scene. And when we're emotional and we're all crying, I mean, we were all crying.
We only shot it once. All the shots you see are one take.
They all want
First
takes.
take.
Wow.
And that was it. We didn't
They did a
repeat
good job.
anything.
And it just worked. And it worked on the first take, and it was so real.
In the makeup trailer, getting my makeup taken off, and I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't stop crying. And Edward James Olmos came in, and he was sitting next to me getting his makeup taken off, and he couldn't stop crying.
I was physically and emotionally drained, and yet I felt incredibly proud and inspired and motivated. And I just remember walking out of that hospital scene, you know, and walking over to Suzette and just hugging her
surprised she
and
had that
just
scene.
crying. I mean, I
Was
cannot
that?
imagine
Yeah, I thought they
what
probably
it's
wasn't there
like
for
to
that
be
scene.
that.
I guess they wanted to see.
And to live with that
Except
pain
for
every day, because I lived with it for 4 months and it was brutal.
It was an experience where I learned that, you know, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And you have to live for today. You have to tell people you love them today. You have to live in the moment.
There's never been a film that I've worked on where it was harder to say goodbye than working on Selena.
I think this story was important to tell because it really gives a great sense
Hey, I was on the mic.
The lipstick, yeah.
understanding to an artist's life, and also brings about a great motivational factor to the people who watch it.
Anything is possible. With hard work and a commitment to a dream, life is not what you think. Life is what you believe.
Your dream, whatever dream that you do have, it is reachable.
But I think it was important to do it. I think that's why more than anything, because she was such a positive role model.
My goal was to show the world what a wonderful person my daughter was.
And the most important thing to her was family and love. That was the most important thing to her.
I think that the fans, they kept it and are still keeping it alive to this day. So I just want to say thanks.
Oh, wow. Yeah, what the rest?
Well, I was waiting too.
Right? That was really good. Everybody displayed everything.
Yeah, definitely good. That was nice. Just get behind the scenes. They must have did this. This is new.
I don't know. I think it was part of the movie.
Yeah, cause I saw they had a skit from the series in it. That's why I was like, maybe there's something they just did.
Maybe.
Because since the series came out, they decided to talk about behind the scenes in the movie. That's what I was thinking. I don't know. It could have been came out. Comment down below. When did this
come out?
Behind the scene came out.
Yeah.
Is it like new? Cause since they came out with the series, or it's been out when the movie first came out?
Yeah, but I like how they told everything, like how the people was there they auditioned for. And then everything. You know, Chris was there doing the guitar.
Yeah, set them up to get him there.
And then that the actors were so involved with the family that it made the picture seem live, you know.
That make it seem, bring the realness to the big screen. Like actually hanging out with the character and getting to know him. So that way you can
play the character.
Yeah, good. So
like each character was hanging out with their character. They had Chris with Chris and Selena with Suzette and the whole family.
Yeah, that's like I do with any documentary or like movie about someone's life. You know what I'm saying? That's on the way. And the only thing that J-Lo had was like her videos, her old videos, and had to talk to the family. Cause other than that, cause Selena's not here, so she can't really, talk to us. So that's why she was working real hard, cause she, and another thing, you don't want to upset the Mexican.
Yeah, that's true.
You Puerto Rican.
I know they was happy she played her.
But she did a good job.
She did a great job.
That she danced like Selena, she moved like Selena.
She studied her butt off for this performance.
That's what you do. Like when you into your craft, you learn everything about it, so you could be the best and do great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do great.
She couldn't let them down. Like this was her biggest role. Yeah, you had to do your part with this movie.
You had to.
And it gave her a name for herself. As J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez.
Let's say when she came in, she only did 3 tapes, and
that's it.
That's all she did. So he said some girls doing like 48. Like I didn't even know they let you do that many tapes.
Nah, they don't. But I guess she looked so much like her. They trying to give her a chance.
Yeah, like some girls that do a lot of takes. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I liked it. It was really informative.
Yeah, it was. Only thing is, I know like a lot of people probably don't want to see Yolanda.
Oh, no.
No, not the real one.
The one who played her.
The one that played her. I would like to know how I feel like you had to play the character that actually, to get her take on it. Like how Selena inspire her. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not have her in there. Like, did she hate Selena too?
Yeah, like they should have had maybe they didn't find Yolanda. No, this is the after. So I'm not sure what happened to Yolanda. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's the person that played her. I would like to, see her take. Because I would have been like, I really want to play it. Like, play the part of the villain and be the actual one that, I just want to know how that made her feel.
Yeah. They didn't even want to put her in.
Yeah, I know. I guess they want to bring her up. But not the real one, but you know, this.
The real one locked up anyway.
I know she. Yeah, maybe they just want to bring her up. But I just like to ask her. Like,
it's like none of the interviews have the person that played Yolanda. They had like one, but that's it. Like one clip. That's it.
They don't really want to show her too much.
Yeah.
Which I really understand.
So the person who played Yolanda, you ain't gonna get like no roles after this.
Shit.
Yeah. You got anything else to say?
I can't even say, I'll probably get bad saying, the person that did Yolanda did a good job being an asshole.
Oh, no.
Like, how dare you?
I mean,
but I'm looking at the actor's perspective. What the real Yolanda did was messed up. That's very disrespectful. Like, it is fucked up. She just took away a great star, a great superstar because of
a little issue that she had.
Jealousy, yeah. And it's sad.
And nobody's ever gonna forgive her for it. So even if she do come out, you not know what's gonna happen to her. So.
They're probably waiting for our side.
They been announcing on the news.
If they announce it on the news, that's a wrap. This shit, you gonna have to have bodyguards to take her home. It's a bodyguard you want to help her.
Exactly. Ain't nobody gonna help that girl.
That's crazy.
God, that's really messed up. Like, you supposed to be her friend, then you steal from her and all this other stuff. That really is tragic.
Yeah, it is.
That's why it sucks to be nice in this world. Like, you do be nice, but then you get stabbed in the back, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But other than that,
if you're a nice person, I mean, I'm a very nice person, but you also gotta have thick skin and also be a little tough. You have to. You have to. And you can't be like J-Lo said at the end. She said, in this world, you never know what's gonna happen next. So you do gotta live each moment like it's your last. I always tell people that you love them, especially if you care about, let them know how you feel while you're still here. You never know. 1 minute you could be on top, and you know, and you right back at the you gone. You just be gone. Cause jealousy is very strong. A person that's jealous is like, not even jealous, more like envy. A person that envy you, jealous and envy. Oh shit, that's the worst.
Yeah.
But you just gotta be very observant of your surroundings. Very observant. Like people you think might be your friend, just watch them. Like just watch them. I do it. Sometimes I would observe my own friend. Like, you really my friend, you really care what's like. I observe people. Yeah. I'll be very quiet and just observe people. Be like, you alright?
Cause like it was a girl that had a best friend. She killed her. So yeah.
I'm very observant.
You can't trust nobody.
Gotta observe. I might be quiet. Like sometimes you meet me in person, I might be very quiet, but I'm very observant. I'm observing your action. I'm an observant type of person you are. I'm observing. Do I want to let you in my life? Like, do I want to let you in? That's how I be. I'm sorry, but yeah, you have to in this world. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, this was a great, behind the scenes
action tape. Yeah,
definitely good. It's sad. I was about to get a little teary-eyed, was you? It was sad, but alright, guys. We want to sign off. I'm Sophia.
I'm Kellz.
I'm Kellz.
I'm Sophia.
We Kellz channel. Don't forget to leave a like and comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. What else can we do?
Hit the notification bell.
So every time we drop a new video,
you will know.
Alright, guys. Peace.